Hi everybody, I am outside. Unfortunately, I forgot my phone stand, so I won't be able to have it. What was it, horizontal? Yeah, I think it's horizontal. But yeah, this will do. So I hope you guys are doing very well, and I hope you guys are safe. So this is gonna be a part 2 of this reading that I've been doing. I know I said yesterday or the other day I was gonna post part 2 yesterday, but I was told not to do it, and I finally understand and see why. So yeah, today is the day where I'm gonna do part 2. So this reading is going to be spicy, and I'm going to be talking about the sexual side of, us being humans. So if that's something that you're not comfortable with, you're not comfortable getting into that yet, that's okay. Just want to let you know. So if you want to click off, now's your chance, because it's gonna get really spicy. But yeah, also, if any of my channel readings is helping you in any way and it's making an impact on your life, I would really appreciate if you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that let me know, especially comment, letting me know that it's like helping you in some way and resonating for you. Definitely does help. Helps me keep this going, I would say, better, knowing that I'm helping someone. And also, if you would like to, give me a little moolah, just a quarter for something, just the work that I do, the channel readings, I would greatly appreciate that. That would mean so much to me. But either way, just happy that I have some support here. There's people watching, and yeah, so okay. So this energy is kind of related in some way to part 1, and also to part 3 that I'm gonna post either tomorrow or whenever the universe tells me that it's time for me to post. The lighting is very weird, so I don't know, maybe I should. Okay, that's kind of better. Actually, no, it's just the sun, so we're gonna have to deal. Oh, damn it! We're gonna have to deal with it. Sorry. All right. I'm not used to, obviously, as you can see, I'm not used to recording outside, so it's gonna be a bit weird, but we're gonna go with the flow. Okay, enough. That's it. Let's go. So I felt this energy, I would say the day after that I first felt the energy that was for part 1. So if you've been feeling like sexual tension, or just I'm just gonna say spicy tension, because I don't know if I'm gonna get strike or something for saying that word, because YouTube can be weird. But if you've been feeling some spicy feelings down there and having some spicy thoughts, but you haven't been sure what to do with it, how to deal with it, this is your sign that there is a creative, spicy way you need to let out this energy. And also, trigger warning, I'm going to be talking about some trauma that I went through, not too much in detail of like who did it, why, what happened, because it's a lot, but it does relate to this, because I feel like for some of you, you may be feeling some shame, some guilt, some disgust, some awkwardness towards expressing this side of yourself, and I feel called to share a bit of my experience of this. So, trigger warning, gonna start talking about essay stuff. So when I was a child, I got groomed a lot. Physically and also online by different people. I'm like, where's that sound coming from? Someone's ringing a bell. I was like, it sounded so near me. That could be significant. Maybe you've been hearing bells. And because my childhood got tainted at such a young age, and I was groomed and taught that this is how I should look for love, this is how I should look for affection, this is how people who love me treat me like this. They want this out of me. So because of that, I grew up very fast, and I end up having a very twisted perception of what a healthy relationship should look like on this side, on the kind of abusive child abuse side. And I say that because I've gotten abused in different ways, so this is one of them. So I say this because you may also have some child trauma yourself, or something, whatever your spicy identity is, or your spicy world, I should say, may have been twisted or manipulated, or it's not what you have always perceived it to be. It's not what sorry, I'm trying to explain this energy. Actually, also a vision I got that does relate to this, and it does relate to all of the readings that I'm doing for part 1, part 2, and part 3, is I got this vision of this knot. Let's say it's like lanyard, like, you know, old. I don't know if you're old like me. Oh my god, I don't want to say that, I'm not old. But when I was a kid, we used to have these lanyards and used to make all these cool designs. So some type of string. So imagine all these strings, and they're all twisted up together, all clumped up. So this is what probably could have happened for you in your life. Your perception of your own spicy creativity, your own spicy desires, pleasures, got tainted and twisted up, probably at a young age, or I'm gonna say that, just twisted in some way, in some part of your life, some part of your time that changed things. And because of this, you've probably had a hard time letting yourself go with the flow, letting yourself express your emotions clearly, letting yourself cry, even letting yourself be playful and have passion. Or maybe you did have passion, you did have a lot of emotion, but it was just out of control. It was just like you had all this fire and you didn't know how to control it, because maybe you ended up hurting yourself in some way, hurting others. And maybe also that maybe an experience that you had like you realize that you're too much and you should just hold this down. You need to suppress this in some way. Or that you were, let's say for instance for me, you know, I'm a kid, like I shouldn't be trying to dress up spicy. I shouldn't be trying to think about that sort of thing. But one, it got put on me. So I was still trying to learn how to deal with all that shame, that anger, that regret, that all those complex feelings, all those complex thoughts that you get when someone hurts you in that way. And you know, especially as a kid, because I didn't get taught properly about safe intimacy, safe, you know, what does that look like? How should that be expressed? So I had to learn it through a very chaotic way. And because of that, I had a hard time expressing myself. Like at times I felt like I was impulsive and just I would lash out and I was angry and I didn't know why, or I was very depressed and sad, and it was like just a roller coaster of emotion. So you may have also gone through that, not realizing that a part of the reason why you've experienced all this bumpiness is because of this trauma that maybe you're still learning to let go, or maybe it's still within you, or it's a lot of it's maybe redefined in a way that's more appropriate or more suited for the current age that you are. And but it's like, it's kind of like there's a leak or the dam is breaking and you're feeling all these sorts of different weird impulses, these feelings towards certain things, maybe towards certain people, and you're not sure why. Like, am I even attracted to that person? Like, what does this mean? And so the universe is showing you this because it's time to look at this in a different way. It's time to feel this in a different way. It's time to express this in a different way. It's getting cold now. I need to put this back on. So there was something that I was going to say. I forgot. Okay. And maybe you guys, or whoever this relates to, you thought that I needed to kind of dabble more or play more into, you know, pleasuring myself. You know what I mean? Pleasuring myself. I need to watch more of, you know, spicy content. I need a... But maybe you didn't feel satisfied with, like, maybe you got yourself off, okay? But you didn't really feel satisfied. That's because the universe, God, your higher self is trying to have you release it, but in a different way, in a way that you haven't really explored, or maybe there's something that you want to explore, but it's just, it's too uncomfortable for you. Or, yeah, this is a message that it's time to get out of your comfort zone when it comes to expressing your sacral chakra, which it's right here. And for those of you who don't know, and it's the color orange. So maybe you've been attracted to the color orange or red. I also have the root chakra here as a synchronicity. And the root chakra talks about grounding. And oh my gosh, you look so good. Sorry. I just saw someone. She looked hot, respectfully. And sorry, what was I saying? Or the sacral chakra is orange, and it represents this pleasure side, this creativity, passion. So maybe also if you feel like you're trying to get into your creative hobbies that maybe you used to do in the past or that you currently are doing, but it's not hitting the same way, this is why. And you may be like, well, Sapphire, like, this is not the same thing. And it's like, it may not look like the same thing, but deep down, they both hold passion. They both hold creativity. And in order to kind of unlock... Sorry, I'm still looking at that girl. She's so pretty. And, so yeah, also maybe you've been trying, like I said, you've been trying to redirect this this pleasure that you've been avoiding by doing something that's typical, that kind of probably calms it down a bit, but it doesn't hit you. It's not hitting the right spot, which is what I've also put on here. Can you like not move, please? Yeah. My paper keeps moving. So maybe this is a sign for you to also start being rebellious and messy in a way that hits those right spots where you feel like you're actually feeling this energy, and it doesn't feel like it's not hitting right. This reminds me, this is one of the symbols I got, or one of the miscellaneous synchronicities I got, but again, I'm going to be talking about the show Blue-Eyed Samurai. It's a very good show. It's about this, it's a little bit of spoiler, or I'm going to start spoiling a little bit, but it's about this woman who was born mixed, Japanese and white. And because of that, she has blue eyes. So I don't know if that's still seen as a bad thing in in today's Japanese culture, but back then this was like the Edo period, or some like far off period like that. It was seen as whoever is mixed and has these blue eyes is seen as a devil. So she was, from childhood, she was seen as this bad, not even a human, just a devil, something that's not human. And also she was not seen as a girl. She was forced to be a boy. And so because of this grew so much self-hatred within her and towards other people. Even though she ended up taking her anger on people because of something that seemed justifiable, which I'm not going to try to go all into it if you want to watch it. But she had so much hatred and anger because of all this shame, this fear, this not feeling comfortable with herself. And in one of the episodes, it's called peculiarities. This episode I'm going to talk about. And she goes into this, what's it called? Not a bathhouse. Goes into a brothel. Because she went undercover. She's trying to, well, not really undercover, but she's kind of always undercover. But she's trying to get into connection with someone because she needs to find this person in order to kill that person and all this stuff. So in this brothel, the lady that she speaks to is like one of the, I was gonna say the head honchos, but I mean like just the managers or the higher ups or whatever. And this person doesn't know. Pretty much everyone thinks that this is a guy because she disguises herself and sees herself as a guy. So this lady is trying to offer him some services, and she shows him different services that they offer, even peculiar ones. So ones that are not so typical when it comes to pleasure. There's some scenes where you see the man being babied and, and then there's other scenes where you see like, the service lady, I forgot what they're called, but the service lady, painting. I don't know if I forgot if it was painting herself or painting her customer. And there's other ones that I'm not going to really get into because I'm like, oh, I don't know about that one. But all these different peculiar pleasures. And I forgot what the lady said to the samurai, but she was trying to say like, everyone has like something, like everyone has their own little peculiarity, their own little weird pleasure, and it doesn't have to be like crazy, like you like getting, I'm not gonna say because I don't want to judge unless it is something very morally wrong, and that's something completely different. That's like straight up abuse. But yeah. So whatever you do that makes you feel grounded or that makes you feel like calm, I don't know if it's listening to some type of music or a certain breathing technique you do, or playing a game, or typing something, going for a walk. The universe is telling you to, whatever you do that makes you feel grounded is meant to be kicked up. And I saw a vision of like someone kicking up the dirt. So it's meant to be kicked up and messed up and used in a different way, or maybe a completely different method. And the universe, God, whoever you choose, or whatever you choose, is telling you that this side of you needs to be released, and it wants to be expressed in a way that's unconventional, in a way that's taboo, and also secret, for most of you. So what I mean by that is try to take time out of your day to really be with yourself and explore, what does your body want? What do you want? And it's okay if you don't know at first, or you don't feel like you need to pleasure yourself in that way. And that's okay, because also the sacral chakra, that passion side of us, that creativity side of us, it doesn't always have to be that spicy kind of pleasure. You can even channel that pleasure into something that's very not spicy at all. And maybe you're afraid. Excuse me. Maybe you're afraid of seeing the side of yourself because there's a lot of fears, the past attached to it. Why you keep looking at me, bro? Well, I mean, I'm hot, but like, you have a kid. Pay attention to your kid. So, what was I saying? Sorry. Oh yeah. So one of the synchronicities I got, or the channel messages I got was, you need to be cracked to see how pretty you are. And maybe you're afraid, like, if I try diving into this, like, I'm afraid what I might be attracted to, who I might be attracted to. I'm afraid of all the fears, the shame, the guilt, the anger that I still have within me because of these certain past events, or maybe it's because of my religion. You know, it's very looked down upon. And this is the reason why you need to explore, because it's not what you seem. It's not always as what it seems. For example, I was afraid to kind of explore more properly into my spicy side. I smile because it's so funny to say that, but I just want to be safe. Because I had certain feelings towards people that abused me, and I was like, wait a minute, am I attracted to them? And I felt very grossed out and freaked out within myself. And it took me some time to see the truth. It took a lot of having to look, come back, look at it again, feel it in a different way, look at it a different way. But I finally realized, like, oh, I'm not attracted to, these certain people that abuse me. It's that I feel shameful still, and I feel like maybe a part of me deserves it, or I should accept it, or and then eventually, when you get good at knowing your energy and creating boundaries with what doesn't belong to you, you'll realize that, oh, wait a minute, this shame that I feel is actually their shame that they're feeling. It's actually their guilt that they're feeling. It's actually their own stuff. So maybe for some of you, ways that you can start expressing, or maybe just a confirmation for if it's something that you're already doing and you need to, like, maybe venture into a different side of it. It could be dancing. I'm also getting something about fire. Fire can symbolize passion, can symbolize the wildness within you, and also symbolize the sacralness. Also nature. I felt called to create this video of nature, and I feel so much better doing this out here. There's no one near me, so there's no kids, so that kid is all the way over there, so I feel pretty good doing this right here. And so yeah, maybe you need to step somewhere into nature, or if you have a private garden or backyard, or if you need to, like, I don't know, I saw someone, like, sit down with their plant and, like, look at its own beauty, I'm hearing. And I don't know, that's kind of all I got with that. Writing, drawing, there's so many different ways. So you could be seeing crows, spiders, octopus, centipede, and pine cones. I know I read somewhere that spiritually pine cones represent the sacral chakra. It also represents fertility. And this is, you exploring this. The universe is not having you explore this just so you can have your high off, and that's it. It actually does relate to also your inner child and also the things that you're trying to manifest. This is kind of like part of the secret code to that. But I'm gonna explain more about the childness in part 3. So yeah, also, if you've been seeing the word Kundalini or you've been wondering what that is, that kind of does relate. I mean, I forgot the whole meaning on Kundalini, but I know it does have something to do with, primal, sexual, or spicy energy. So if you feel called to look that up and to see what that's all about, then yeah, I definitely say go do that. And then also, for some reason, when I was channeling, I'm kind of lowering my voice down now because there's like kids nearby and a bench, but for some reason I saw the voodoo doll from Lilo and Stitch, and I just think about the scene where she's just kind of putting all these random stuff, or no, she has all these random things to create this magic to put a bad spell on her friends. So I don't know, something about that with her getting random things, that's kind of like what you need to do for yourself. Like, get whatever you can take, whether it's like an idea, whether it's something simple as like, I don't know, grass, a freaking, like, just create get anything you can, anything that you feel like can help you with this, and create your own thing, create your own vision, your own idea. And this also plays with letting your imagination run wild. Yeah, see yourself as something to be explored. Excuse me, allergies are getting to me, as art. So angel numbers I've been seeing are 13, 1, 2, 3. I've been seeing 333 a lot, so you may have been seeing that as well. I've also been seeing 1, 1, 2, 3, 9. And today I saw 7 4s, so I was like, wow, that's like very powerful. So you might have been seeing like 7 4s, or 444 may be significant. And then for some reason, I don't know, I haven't looked up if what I'm feeling does actually have some kind of fact or evidence behind it. But I felt like I need to channel more numbers, and for some reason 8, I feel like 8 does capture this energy very well. So you may also been seeing a lot of 8s, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, that kind of thing. And then also, like, I dressed up purposely for this reading, so maybe that's also a sign for you to get creative or to start dressing yourself up again, really taking care of yourself. Especially, like, not only trying to let yourself feel spicy or express this spiciness in some way, but also to feel admired and in love with it. So also putting love, mix curiosity into it. So this is probably, for some of you, it's gonna take time, and it's gonna take a lot of ups and downs. So last but not least, I have the songs. So songs that I feel called that might help you in some way with this expression, this journey that you're on, into tapping more into this or redefining what this is to you, is This Place Is Death by Deftones, Break My Back Break My Back by, I apologize, I don't know how to say his name, so I'm just going to spell it out, Jarreau, Vandal, feat. Ashnikko, Hollywood by Thornhill, Battle Axe by Deftones, and then for some reason I heard Moana. I'm not sure if that means something to you in some way, but I felt called to hear the song Moana by Deftones, and I've never heard that song. Shut Me Up by Alexis Monroe, and Pixie Hollow and Purgatory by Alexis Monroe. So these artists, they've always gotten me in the mood of like wanting to really be messy with myself, like really wanting to show my freak off, you know, to myself and express that by dancing. And I used to do pole dancing, actually, a little bit, not like publicly, but just as my own hobby, and that felt very freeing for me. But unfortunately, I don't have my own place yet to do that sort of thing. And I think that's where also imagination can tie into this. You may want to do certain things, but you probably don't have the money for it, or you can't. Try doing it in your imagination, or try, I don't know, writing a scene or script of how you see this happening. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Also, I feel like I need to say this now. You remember well, for some of you, if you've seen this, but you know those like candy rope marshmallows that had like 3 colors? It was like yellow, purple, I think, and blue, and it would kind of like wrap together. I feel called to say that, even though that was meant for part 3, but it's like all these energies that I'm reading, it all ties in. Actually, I guess I should say that now. So, your spiciness. In part 3, I'm going to be talking about your imagination, your more so on a childhood level. And part 1, the trials that you went through, the challenges, and also people's dark obsessive feelings about you, or just their own shit that they put on you. Okay, that makes sense. So for many of you, it got corrupted, and it was meant to, all of that was meant to kind of flow easily and create its own masterpiece. But I guess at a young age for you, or when you were a child, it got very corrupted. All these strings got twisted and knotted, and certain things were mixed together that shouldn't have mixed together, and it made it more confusing. And it brought a lot of shame and darkness, which is actually also a reason why for such a long time I've had a hard time connecting back into my spiciness because, one, I never really had a good example of that, and I was still holding on to the way that I've experienced it growing up. And sorry, I saw a little adorable girl, but and the way I thought, like, and also the way I grew up, you know, it was very looked down upon to excuse me, to express this side of yourself because of religion, you know, and also because I'm a child, which is understandable. But the fact that also people who kind of had that saying, or kind of had that rule, or kind of displayed in some way that they don't approve this this spicy side showing for, how do I say it, like, the spicy side is not acceptable yet, or it's not acceptable for children, you know, at all, and that's understandable, you know. But what made it more confusing was some of these people enabled and didn't protect me, and kind of knew in some way, or they didn't try to protect me. So it made it more confusing of, like, the sex or the spicy blame that I put on myself, and the shame. Because I felt like for my whole life I had to figure it out on my own. I had no good role model. So it was kind of like I had to keep learning based on, like, literally on my own failures, on getting myself into traumatic situations and that kind of thing, and, you know, having these people act like they were there and act like they did the best for me, or act like they warned me but they didn't, and they didn't take the necessary steps to keep me away from this, or to tell me that, you know, it wasn't entirely my fault. Like, I know, like, yes, I do have some fault in this, you know, even though I wasn't consciously aware that this was wrong. It was wrong for me to show myself to men and boys even, and also to let people touch me. You know, because at some point I was so in it that I thought it was normal. I thought it was normal to have a relationship with grown men. And I thought it was normal to show myself in that way, to try to make myself more spicy for men's eyes, and for boys even too. So yeah, that might relate to you in some way. And you might have some inner conflict with you, because I feel like there's times where it feels like I'm trying to create boundaries now with that traumatized child that I once was, and telling her, like, you know, you don't need to be a part of this anymore. Like, I'm an adult. Like, I you know, you don't need to like know any of this. You don't need to try to put your own 2 cents in it or your own feelings. And I feel like at times that side of me still fights, feeling like that side of me needs to come out and to protect myself in some way, or really put myself out there in that way to feel validated and protected. So you may also have that conflicting force within you, and it's really about like taking your time and knowing that this is for a lot of you, this is something really touchy, and it's gonna come with feeling probably hurt again, feeling vulnerable, feeling scared, feeling awkward, feeling numb. But you're worth that patience, you're worth that getting to know again, or really getting to know the first time, or for the first time who you are without having these traumatized lens, having other people's own perverted, their own desires or passions that they've wanted for you, or that they didn't want for you. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys, and I hope this helps you in some way. Again, if this helps, I would appreciate if you comment, you like, you know, tip. So yeah, I hope you are able to express this in a way that is true to you, even if it takes time, even if it's hard at first and you don't see the point in it. Like, I encourage you to try, because it is worth it. You're worth it. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for the third message, or the last message for this kind of whole thing. And yeah, peace.